force that at its peak spanned 8 states, involved 3 federal agencies, the FBI, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, now the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, and the U.S. Postal Inspection Service, and involved upwards of 500 agents. The biggest fabrication was Fitzgerald's supposed dramatic meeting with the Unabomber himself. In fact, Fitzgerald was never in Lincoln, Montana, where the Unabomber was finally identified and apprehended, and he never even met Kaczynski. The Unabomber has steadfastly refused to speak about the case with anyone in the FBI. The only investigators Kaczynski talked to are the 2 members of the Unabomber Task Force, UTF, who pulled him out of his simple wood cabin on April 3, 1996, and ultimately placed him under arrest. The Discovery series also left viewers with the impression that Agent Fitzgerald had to fight against supervisors and others to pursue the case, when in fact those involved in the investigation argue that it was a cohesive team effort that ultimately led to the capture of Theodore J. Kaczynski. As a 3rd-generation federal prosecutor and the daughter of an FBI agent who played a role in the investigation of the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, I heard those stories and was disappointed by the liberties taken by the show's producers. In an era when Americans are questioning the truth and trying to distinguish facts from fiction, I am anxious to set the record straight and detail what really happened in those dark days when Kaczynski, a math genius and one of the youngest people to ever graduate from Harvard University, turned his hatred of technology and inner rage into a decades-long bombing spree. To help me chronicle the true story behind the 18-year investigation, I did a deep dive into the case with the aid of retired FBI Supervisory Special Agent Patrick J. Webb, someone who is uniquely positioned to tell the real story from the inside. While he never attempted to portray himself as a major player, he was, in fact, one of the longest-serving members of the Unabomber Task Force. For more than 5 years, Webb, a bomb technician and highly trained explosive expert, led the investigation out of the FBI's San Francisco office. He was in Lincoln, Montana, on the day investigators grabbed Kaczynski and placed him into custody. He was also one of the explosive experts who took part in the critical search of the primitive cabin where Kaczynski carefully crafted his homemade bombs, and he was in the one-room dwelling when a live bomb was discovered under the suspect's bed, packaged, addressed, and ready to be mailed to an unsuspecting recipient. From our first meeting, Webb and I hit it off and committed to work together to bring the incredible story behind this mammoth effort to light. I grew up with law enforcement, and I'm proud of it. I heard stories from my father about the cases he worked on and the bad guys he helped put away. In a way, being the daughter of an FBI agent made me part of that broader family. FBI agents treat each other as family, and that bond includes extended family members such as wives, sons, and daughters. I understood Webb and what motivated him in a way that those outside law enforcement may never fully understand. There's a deep and unwritten bond among FBI agents and their families, one of truth, trust, and a commitment to pursue cases no matter what the danger or duration. I also know that most of them have no desire to be in the limelight or publicly seek credit for their work. That's not what they do. That's why I'm incredibly fortunate that former Supervisory Special Agent Webb was willing to step forward and help me tell the story. And it's with great sadness that I report his passing during the writing of this book. He was undergoing chemotherapy for liver cancer when we first connected in late spring of 2018. As ill as he was, he graciously opened his home and his heart.